Welcome to CXL Feeds. This lesson is about website actions with LinkedIn ads. So the website is a core part of any B2B product or service. It's where your customers and your prospects go to engage and understand a little bit more about your business. It's also the place where once they've done all this research and research on other sites that they will probably go to convert. There's multiple different places they can convert, but the majority of conversions and demo requests will come back and be associated with the website. It's been a tricky part of B2B marketing, trying to attribute overall credit to certain places and to certain channels, but it's also been really tricky to go down to the more particular part of attribution, which is around tracking and conversion tracking. So over the years, LinkedIn has had a tool that was called conversion tracking, and essentially what this conversion tracking did was, once you installed your LinkedIn Insight tag, you could then set up conversions based on URLs. So once people clicked a certain URL, it would fire as a conversion back to LinkedIn. You also had another option that you could do, which was essentially to implement a piece of code called an event-specific pixel on a button or an action on the website. Now, this worked for a while, but it was very time consuming because you usually had to do this with your engineering teams, with your tech teams, and it would usually take a lot of your hours to troubleshoot, to answer questions, to find problems, and to find out was it really working or not. So it wasn't really an ideal solution, but it's what we've used until today. Now, recently in 2022, LinkedIn acquired a company called Aribi. Essentially, Aribi is a web analytics platform that solves a certain amount of this problem of conversion tracking and not having to use the engineering teams and the tech teams. It kind of takes the technical aspect away from it. So over the past 2 years, LinkedIn has been working on the integration of Aribi into the LinkedIn ads platform, and in roughly around April 2024, there was the release of website actions. So website actions essentially is conversion tracking but enhanced with much more functionality. It does all the same things of conversion tracking, but makes it a lot more scalable and a lot more useful for the LinkedIn advertiser. So what do I mean by scalable and useful? So essentially all you need to do to implement website actions is implement the Insight tag. So similar to conversion tracking, it's a must. However, after that, you do not really have to do a lot of heavy lifting whatsoever. Your engineering team don't need to be involved, and your tech team don't need to be involved, and you can set up conversions based on a scan of your website. So essentially what it does is it takes your website and your landing pages from your LinkedIn ads and understands what type of actions there are. It names them and gives you the option to be able to set them up as conversions within the LinkedIn tool. Now, something that has gone above and beyond conversion tracking on is it also now allows you to set up these website actions as actual audiences. So this is a game changer for multiple reasons. So think about it, right? If people go to your product page or to your pricing page and they click on a certain price or a certain level or a certain type of product within your product suite, that gives you a lot of information into what that potential customer is actually interested in. So to quickly show you how you do it, essentially what you do is you go into your LinkedIn ad account. This is a test account I've set up with just a specific landing page. Go into your LinkedIn ad account, click on analyze, and then click on website actions. So you still have traditional conversion tracking here, but then you have website actions. And essentially what a website actions will do, it'll scan your page without you needing to click anything, and it will show you what you need, what type of buttons are on your page. So you can see that in the last 30 days, 10 people have clicked the book call on my website or on my landing page. Now, what I can do with that, so I can create a conversion and add it to one of my paid campaigns, or I can alternatively create an audience. So essentially what I need to do to create an audience is name it, click what actions I want. In this case, I want book a call and I want it off a button, but you can also choose pages. In this case, it's a landing page, so it's one page. And then what you can do is add specific rules. So for example, if this was a specific demo page or a group of specific demo pages, but this button existed on the website, I could then add a filter. So I can track only specific pages and then add something like contains the word demo. So essentially what I've done then is I've allowed it to only track that button on specific pages. So if I agree and create, now I have an audience that I can find in my retargeting section in audiences, where I can essentially exclude those people who have already booked a call or submitted a book a call from the LinkedIn target audiences. So this allows you to think about what type of content you can deliver to what type of people after they've taken an action. A second use case is that you can now use it for negative retargeting. So essentially, rather than sequencing content for people that are in the early stages, for people who are at the kind of the bottom of the funnel and have already converted, you can now exclude them from more kind of the aggressive lower funnel campaigns that sometimes people don't necessarily like so much and can be only shown for a certain period of time. So there's multiple different use cases, but the last one, and probably one of my favorite use cases, is that you can now set up loads of different website actions really, really easily. So previously you would only set up one or two if you were dealing with your tech team, because it took quite a lot of time to do. Whereas now, if you're running a brand campaign or an engagement campaign where you really want people to go and spend time on your site, you can now track a lot of things really, really easily. So for me, in my campaigns, I track many different things. So product pages, pricing pages, customer testimonials, buttons on the product and pricing pages, what type of actions people are taking. The last thing I want to talk about is the LinkedIn algorithm. So essentially, the LinkedIn algorithm has struggled a little bit against algorithms such as Meta and Google and YouTube and all of the other algorithms which have much more data points. The reason for this is generally not to the detriment of their systems, but to the nature of B2B advertising. B2B advertising is about precision. You know, your audiences can be pretty small compared to B2C advertising in some instances. And generally the algorithm finds it a little bit more difficult to find the people you want and really understand your use case, which is understandable. They don't know your sales cycle, they don't know your CRM data in some cases, and the algorithm doesn't know kind of your strategy. You know, so it's harder and harder to find people that you want. However, with website actions, it will give the LinkedIn algorithm much more data points to work off. You know, if it's starting to track people who are visiting your pricing page, it's going to be a little bit more intuitive about the people it tries to target that are similar. So especially when you're using an objective such as website conversions, which optimizes towards people who are likely to convert, this is going to be a really, really useful tool for making sure that the algorithm is working more so in your favor than if you were to do it manually. So it's a step in the right direction for LinkedIn to make sure that the algorithms are going to be working better for you. I'm still personally a fan of manual bidding, but I'm hoping for the day where we can forget about manual bidding and focus on objectives and bidding that is more automated. So that's website actions. My suggestion is for you to go and try it out. So there's two things I think you can do. One, go into the tool, make sure your insight tag is set up, and see what types of actions are there. Look at the buttons, look at the pages, and pick all of the relevant ones you think are useful and add them to your campaigns. Track this data for a week, a month, 3 months, however long it takes to get significantly statistic data, and understand a little bit more about what people do when they see a certain ad, what pages they go to, what makes them check a little bit more out on the website than other creatives. And the second thing I think you should do is go in and find the very, very bottom of your funnel. So the submit button on the book a call, or the submit button on the book a demo, or anything like that, and essentially create an audience from that button and then exclude that from your lower funnel campaigns. This way you'll get a lot more efficiency, and you won't annoy the people that have already converted with more ads. So hopefully that was useful, and good luck setting up your website actions, and hopefully you get some nice results and some nice data from the tool.